guys and gals? Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. Some of you on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Tennis Ace. I believe we are on Kei's path. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Please sit back and enjoy for the next 16 minutes to entertain you. Let's jump right in. Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Now, which one was I at? 48. Okay, this one right here. Okay. He's going to start scrambling to catch up, and that'll give me the perfect chance to take the whole game from him. No plan could be more perfect. Kei tosses the... Huh? The ball's already served. Oh, sorry about that. Is it the fence behind us and falling to the floor, even? A quick serve? Here? Kei smiles deviously. Since when did he learn to do that? Quick serves aren't easy to pull off. You have to be almost nearly hit the ball out of your hand just after tossing it. It's not something you can become proficient with overnight. It was nearly just as fast as his regular serves. 15 love. I shake my head a few times, trying to put myself back together. Okay, just switch gears. A quick serve is very much a surprise tactic. It's not like it's in any way superior to a regular serve. If anything, once the surprise element is gone, it is downright a worse option. Which means there's no risk of it coming twice in a row. Kei gets into position, moving to toss again. Crap! I flinched. Even though I kept telling myself he wouldn't do it twice in a row, my body still flinched as soon as he began to toss. I nearly jumped forward to return a serve that didn't come. Instead, he shot a regular topspin serve at me. My reaction was delayed by a few seconds, and I could barely reach the ball before it double bounced. Kei rushes to the net, finishing the ball at a wide angle in a way that I just can't reach it. 30 love. Ha! He's got me. Even if in my mind I tell myself that a quick serve won't come, now that he's added this new variable right at the start of the game before I've had the chance to properly switch into gear, my body is confused. It'll take me a while to get back to normal, even if I was doing really well before this. I guess this is what I get for being hasty. I put too much stock into wanting to break his serve right off the bat, and because of that, when I lost the first point, my spirit wavered a little. I took a few deep breaths, trying to stabilize myself. Mistakes happen, no point dwelling in them. Forget what came before. Focus on the next point. When he sees the look on my face, Kei's own face scrunches up. I guess he's being cautious of me? I have to admit, I'm a little glad. I don't overthink things, just go with what feels natural. Kei hits his serve, this time a shallow slice, aiming for my left hand. The match has barely started, and he's already varying his shots to an annoying degree. First a wide, flat, quick serve, then a wide topspin, and now a slice aiming for the center. It's too many variables to keep track of so early in the game. It's annoying. However, my body is moving much better now. I reach the ball and hit it towards the open side of the court. Same as always, just put as much power into the ball as possible. That ought to do the trick. Kei doesn't seem at all fazed by it. It looks to me like his form has improved a lot. Has he been keeping up practice this past month when the school courts were closed? But he said no one ever practices with him here at his house, so... Well, it doesn't really matter. If I'm able to pick up his serve, it'll eventually become a battle of ground strokes. Kei will try to make it hard for me to hit strong balls by confusing me with his myriad of different shots. Meanwhile, I try to keep him from using said shots by hammering with one strong ball after the other. Our fundamental strategies haven't changed once, and I have no reason to change now. We've just continued to pursue further refinement in our own particular styles. This time it's much harder to get through Kei's defenses. Usually when I end up in a rally like this, I force the other player on the defensive and make them have to try their best to keep me from clinching the point then and there. Despite me doing my best on offense, Kei himself isn't backing down from the attack either. He's always been a very aggressive player in his own way, but I'm stunned at how well he's managing to press the attack. If things keep going like this, I might be the one finding myself at a disadvantage. Which means... I try hitting the drop shot. Skillful tennis isn't exactly my thing, but that doesn't mean I can't do it. Throwing an unexpected shot every now and again isn't exactly the hardest thing to do, and the resulting effect is that my opponent is thrown off their usual pace. Or at least that's how it should be. Kei doesn't hesitate for even a second. He immediately dashes for the ball as if we were waiting for it to go there the whole time. What? He hits a flat shot at such a ridiculously wide angle that I have no chance of ever reaching the ball. I don't even bother running after it because it's so impossible it borders on hilarious. How did... 40 love. My whole body is dripping with sweat. I didn't expect such a thing to happen, but Kei is pushing me farther than he ever did before. Even that one time we played at the rented center when Shuichi arbitrated the game for us. I had a hard time with that one, but that was because my head was out of the game. Here, though, I'm just getting pressured from how well he's doing. I've managed to defend my own serve quite well, but I haven't managed to break his either. I might be the one coming closest to breaking a serve, but at the end of the day, so long as he's managed to defend his own serve, we're still at a stalemate. We've even got ourselves into a tiebreak. I suppose if there's one positive, it's that he seems to be running much more ragged than I am. I guess this is when I thank my better athletic disposition, even if stamina isn't my forte. But after the finals of the prefectural tournament against that Akita guy, I've at least had the good sense to focus on improving myself in that area, so I suppose I'm doing better than I was a month ago. Keisuke, on the other hand, I'm sure the differences in our physique is rearing its ugly head about for him now. He might be very in shape, but my body's just naturally built better than his. That's not a difference he can easily make up for. Because of that, he's panting quite obviously and struggling to even stand. I can't blame him. Every single one of his games went into a 40-all stalemate and had the two of us constantly trading advantage for over 10 minutes until he managed to keep the serve. This match has already gone well for over 2 hours by now. This is definitely an anomaly for a one-set match. His legs must be feeling it now more than anything. I kind of feel sorry for him. Hey, are you going to be okay? Maybe we should stop. Don't be ridiculous. This is my fight. This is my chance to finally take a serve from you. I'm afraid he's thinking with his pride instead of with his brain. That really bothers me. Okay. I need to end this soon, but Keisuke keeps stubbornly clinging to his service when it's his turn to serve. The tiebreak score is already at 14-14. Well, my turn to serve now. If I want to finish this as quickly as possible, and I should probably go for a flat, but I also know that's what he would expect. During this whole match, it became painfully obvious that he got a very good read of my style. His reactions keep getting faster and faster, and he managed to anticipate what I would do. If that's the case, then I should do something I've never done before. And what better time than when his legs are barely managing to keep him up? I toss the ball and get myself in position to serve. I have to make it look like it'll be a strong one. Then when I would normally swing to hit the ball, I stand still. Keisuke seems to catch on a second too late as I lower my racket and hit the ball from below instead. An underarm serve. It's especially effective for a player like me who hammers rocket after rocket when he serves. This entire match, I've mostly hit strong shots at Keisuke, and even when I varied from that pattern, even my most basic slice is still faster than many guys' serves. So he's come to expect my shots to both have a lot of punch and to hit close to the line. With him standing so far back to deal with my serve and being so prepared to run after a fast ball, his body freezes at the sight of that pathetically slow ball barely flying over the net. The ball bounces and rolls away while the hare stands motionless in his corner. 15-14, match point. Since neither of us has yielded any points during our serve at the tiebreak, that means he's the next one to serve. But regardless, hopefully the psychological impact of that shot will give me even the slightest edge so I can close this out. Well, I don't particularly want to stop playing. I'm having missed being on the court far too much this past month. I really don't want him to overexert himself. Huh. He seems to be mulling something over to himself as he gets in a position to serve. At the very least, he doesn't seem as laser-focused as he was before. Which is good, because he can be pretty scary when he's focused. One second, y'all. Okay. Keisuke serves. Nothing different from the usual so far. I hope that he was rattled enough by the last point to make a mistake, getting slightly weaker now. But I continue to press on the attack, not wanting him to leave even a little bit of the... Not even wanting to leave him a little bit of breathing room. I must make things as difficult as possible for him. Eventually, it starts to become obvious. Keisuke is having a hard time keeping up, not because of any kind of mental imbalance or anything of the sorts. He's exhausted. I guess once I broke his concentration for even just a second, the exhaustion caught up to him in full force. His shots are getting weaker by the second, and he's running slower. Soon enough, I see an opportunity, and... The ball I've hit zooms past the net, bouncing on the court and going straight for the fence behind it. Keisuke couldn't reach it. Ha! Ha! Damn it! He promptly falls to the floor. What? Keisuke! I run over to him in an attempt to help him get up. However, he completely ignores my presence, lying on his back and panting heavily instead. Man, he's much more tired than I thought he'd be. It's even a little bit scary, even. Are you all right? Yeah. Only thing hurt is my pride. He makes no move to get up from the ground, and I eventually give up on waiting. Instead, I sit right next to him, hugging my knees and watching him closely. You don't have to stay on the ground just because of me. I know. Thanks. I watch Keisuke's chest moving up and down as he struggles for air. He gasps almost desperately for it, and it almost looks like he's suffocating at times. But little by little, his breathing stabilizes. For some reason, it's relaxing to just sit around like this. Besides, there's a nice breeze coming from the nearby woods, so it feels nice, too. Man, I was so close this time. You really were. I was surprised to see it. Funny, I'm used to seeing him get really mad whenever he loses. Compared to my usual image of him, he seems to be quite calm and relaxed right now. Part of me can't help but find it weird. Aren't you uncomfortable sitting around on the ground? Aren't you uncomfortable lying on it? Now that you mention it, yeah, I am. But I still prefer this over standing right now. Are you that tired? I think I'd look like a newborn fawn learning to stand, and I really prefer to save myself that embarrassment. Heh, I suppose that makes sense. Did you at least enjoy the match? Yes, it was very instructive. I feel like I've gotten one step closer to matching you. That's not what I meant. I was asking if you had fun, you weirdo. You're pretty calm right now. I'm surprised. How so? Well, let's just say my run-ins with your past match temper haven't always been the best. Oh, sorry about that. You can be pretty angry when it comes to tennis. Even made me question whether you truly enjoyed it sometimes. What's with that unenthusiastic I do enjoy tennis. It helps me relax. Relax? Most of the times when I've seen you angry were during or after playing tennis. And now you're telling me that was you feeling relaxed? Jesus, how high-strung are you? What about you, Yuichi? How come you enjoy tennis so much? Me? Why do you ask? You asked me a question first. It's only fair that I get to ask one back. We're not playing a question game. Oh, never mind. I think I might have mentioned this before, or did I never say this in front of you? My dad taught me about tennis shortly before he died. Really? I don't ever think you told me that. Yeah, it turns out he played it competitively while he was still in high school, but stopped once he went to college. The first time I've ever seen his eyes really glint were when he talked about it. He really loved tennis, and I enjoyed learning about it from him. I started playing tennis because of him. It must have been nice. Yeah, in a sense. I'm really lucky. I got to find something I really loved from someone who was so dear to me. Sometimes I wonder when he'd think of me if he knew I was about to go pro. That's hard to say. Really? How so? Well, parents aren't always the most logical. Even if they love that you have passion for something, they might sometimes still oppose it because they think it'd be too risky or too hard. He might have pushed you to go to college instead of choosing tennis, because there'd be less risk and a higher chance for a stable future. Yeah, I see your point. Unfortunately, I remember very little about him nowadays. I can't even really say what kind of personality he had, so it's hard to guess how he'd respond. I mean, regardless of his opinions on what you should do in your future, I'm sure he'd still have been proud of you. Yeah, I like to think so too. Adorable. Water, I need water. 1 second, y'all. Oh, delicious water. Okay. Kei sits up from the ground, carefully dusting his back and pushing himself up. I stand alongside him, trying to offer him a helping hand, but he declines it with a gesture. I guess this sort of makes us birds of a feather, since my father is the reason I got into tennis. Yeah, I remember you mentioning that to me once. I can't believe he expected you to just quit cold turkey once you graduated. Right? I can't believe how stupid he was. Although, I suppose the difference is your dad wanted to actually share something he loved with you, while mine just wanted to be able to brag about me to his peers. Yeah. Either way, none of that really matters now. There are more important things to focus on. Yeah? Like what? A bath would be nice for starters. I'm sticky and sweaty and gross, and I hate it. Ha! I thought you were going to say something actually sagely for once. Why are you looking down on me like that? Being clean is really important, too. I'm not saying it isn't, but you really should work on your delivery. You sounded way too somber for someone about to ask for a shower. Kei and I sit by the porch on his house, absent-mindedly gazing at the leaves and trees rustling in the distance. I'm surprised how much time passed by while we spent the entire day idly chatting about nothing in particular. It's weird. When I look back, I feel like we really didn't do anything at all, and yet we were capable of spending a full day feeling entertained. He showed me a little bit more of his guitar playing. We played games, chatted, ate together. In fact, I'm shocked how well everything went. No awkward interruptions, no angry family members, none of the things I've come to expect the last few times I've come to visit. Keisuke. Oh, right. He's corrected me a few times on the way I call him. For some reason, he is oddly insistent that I don't call him Kei anymore. It's weird to break out of a habit I've kept up for so long. Anyways, what I was going to say was, what happened to your family? I'm surprised either your grandmother or your father showed up at all today. That. They're out of town at the moment. Father is having a meeting with board partners in the company headquarters located in Tokyo. He should be back by Sunday. Grandmother is merely spending time with her equally old friends in another one of our estates near Osaka. Oh, that explains the calm. Indeed, the times when they are both traveling are somewhat rare, especially since Grandmother spends most of her time at home nowadays. Regardless, they are my favorite times to spend at home. Must be nice not having to deal with drama. Make no mistake, the drama is never really gone. I still have to deal with the spying eyes of their servants. I just choose to ignore the most of that. Oh, that's a little bit less nice. Don't worry, I get by. I guess that's not bad. Jeez, every time I hear about Keisuke's family dynamics, I feel like they've been lifted straight from a soap opera of some kind. Thank you for spending the day with me. It was nice to have a lazy day just to spend at home. I'm happy I was able to share it with you. Aw, it was my pleasure. I was just gonna sit around the house all day today, so it was nice to have a reason to get off the couch and do stuff. Huh, I guess this was mutually beneficial then. A nod, looking up at the clouds in the sky. Keisuke follows my gaze, staring at them intently and with a lot of curiosity. Can I ask you a question? Shoot! Why do you stare at the sky so much? I notice that you tend to completely zone out and look at the sky fairly often. It's relaxing. I see. He giggles to himself as if my answer amused him greatly. Why do you ask? I thought you also like watching the sky. I do. I think I even ranted to you about how you can't really see the stars from here anymore at some point. Oh yeah, I think I remember that. But if you ask 1,000 people the reasons for doing something, you'll get 1,000 different responses. Ooh, excuse me. Sure, many of them might be similar, but everyone has slightly different thoughts and motivations relating to certain things. Two different people might say watching the sky relaxes them, but maybe it's because one likes to see the clouds and the other likes the stars. Or maybe they might have completely different reasons to be relaxed. In summary, people are unique. It's good to get perspective on why they do the things they do, even if you yourself also share that activity. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right here. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a super thanks, or tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!